Welcome everyone to the November 1st, 2022 Board of County Commissioners meeting. This time I'd like to ask Mr. Fleming to do the invocation and the pledge if you all stand.
Let's pray. Our Father, we come again in your name. Thank you for the blessing. Thank you for all that you've done. Our Father, we pray that you give us strength, blessings, watch over and protect us. For we need you. We need your guidance. We need your strength to go to the chairman today. Bless the rest of the commissioners. Father, we know that you're able. And God, I know that you got all power in your hand. We ask you these and all blessings. In Jesus' name, we pray. Now, Commissioner, the chairman asked us to pray for some rain, but I just can't let him. Amen.
Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 1, approval of the minutes for October 18th, 2022 regular board meeting. Any corrections or a motion to approve?
Move to approve. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Land, second by Commissioner Stapleton. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Consent agenda with full item number 4. Is there any other items anybody wish to discuss? Seeing none, items 2 and 3 and 5 through 13. Motion by Commissioner Stapleton. Second by Commissioner Hale. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 4, approval of clerk's records disposition request number 44 for destruction of records that have met their retention. Mr. Purvat.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I spoke with Mr. Musgrove earlier this morning about this, but items that are 422 grant files, 109 grant files grantor agency, 348 grant files recipient, they're slated through 2017, but I've asked them to hold where we presently are for 2016 so that we can meet our grant requirements. Same thing for item number 137, which is project files federal, to hold those dates to 2016. That would be the only change I would like to make.
I make a motion to approve contingent on the changes
I'll get
suggested by.
loaded the correct numbers later.
Mr. Purvat.
Motion by Commissioner Land. Second by Commissioner Fleming. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Carried. Item number 14, adoption of resolution proclaiming November 2022 as National Hospice Palliative Care Month in Suwannee County. I'll read the proclamation. Is somebody here from Haven Hospice? Should we hold up on this a minute and give her a few minutes? We can go through Randy's thing. I'd hate if she went to the wrong place and not realize it. Let's see. Mr. Harris, Mr. Harris has got us all some blueprints here to look at.
We can go through these real quick. I just want you to see these as we're proceeding with these projects. If you'll just go to that one from CRA first. We've got 2 drawings there. The first one is the one that they sent me that says CRA on it. So that has their logo on it.
This is for
This is for the EOC.
EOC.
This is the EOC.
Okay.
You'll take a look at that and look at that down at the bottom middle, right there. That's your meeting area, common meeting area. This is where we are currently cramped and can't even fit in there. I would submit this drawing won't work, so I redrew one on the second page. If you look at one, it looks like it was drawn with a scale ruler, not done electronically. I told them I was gonna save both of us about 2 months shoving of paper, so I drew one and sent it back to them. Well, they took that one then, and I just got it back today, in fact, so I'm gonna give you a copy. And this is what it will look like standard dispatch area, you've got appropriate mechanical rooms, and everything else. I think we provided for every space that they currently had. We added, if you'll notice at the bottom right-hand side where it says meeting, there's a small meeting room there for breakout room for those that have to have little breakout meetings from time to time, which we do. In any event, any comments on that? This is just a floor plan, and they haven't done all the mechanical drawings and,
Same amount of square footage as what they drew as what you drew, or is it more?
this one's larger. The minimum requirement, in our design grant was 5,750 square feet. This is 7,842 square feet.
Mr. Harris,
Yes.
have you, I'm assuming you have you, ran these by the sheriff and Mr. Bulls and Davis, Ms. Davis and all those folks over there?
Yes, sir. In fact, if you look at the bottom left-hand office, that hot tub down there.
Is that the sheriff's?
Yeah, and the disco ball. Yeah. I met with them, I think the sheriff, I mean, would you agree you're satisfied with the layout of this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, I met with, he and Chris. Okay, so that's that. If you wanna look now at the CD shelter, this is the $5 million check that we got from, the state. I think they presented it, I believe it's actually federal funding. Large area, this is, and I'll say this for those that may not be aware, this was actually funding that was part of the COVID, monies that came out, quarantine building if we ever had to have one. So that's what we applied under. This is the building that it said we wouldn't get, but we did. I think we were the first ones to get the funding for this. So now all the other counties are scrambling to try to get the same thing. But in any event, this will be your larger building for any number of purposes after we have complied with the, I think it's either 5 or 7 year requirement that we have to track everyone that goes in the building to meet certain criteria. That kitchen in the rear is not a commercial kitchen, that's more of a warming type thing for foods that might be brought in if we had to use this for a shelter. Any questions on that?
How many square feet is this?
See the.
20,000.
See no kitchen.
20,000.
20,000 square feet.
Oh, I see it's
Far right.
Storm shelter. Storm shelter. Must play good.
Now, those two buildings are currently both planned to be on the, those two buildings are planned to be on the property that we bought on Gold Kiss, the 30 acres, that'd be up on the north end. One thing I did there was I've got the engineers for the CD building working on the entire site plan that includes shared parking between the two buildings, shared drainage, everything else, because it's gonna be cheaper to fit everything out that way. But that also helped us, if you recall, I think it was $130,000 that I negotiated down on the price of the EOC design. Part of that was ensuring that we also included the site work and civil engineering on the site. Instead of doing them separately, it saved money. The next one is the fire station, North 129. If you just go to the floor plan, fairly basic design for a fire station. We worked a lot on this one to try to cut extra space out. There was a large hallway that went through one of the earlier versions of this drawing. I took that out. I think I calculated that was about $76,000 worth of savings to remove that hall and rearrange some of this. So there's your floor plan for the fire station.
Three bays.
Yes, sir. 6 doors, 3 long bays, so that the equipment can go in back to back or 2 units in each bay, depending on the type of equipment. that's that one. I don't remember if there was one more. Yeah, the last one. I guess you got one of these, which is probably behind the fire station. This is the addition to the administration building. The rectangle in the middle is what we currently have. See that big white area? Find it? Okay, the rectangle in the center is what we currently have. The only thing that's planned to be changed in that area is the air conditioning. The ductwork, the air conditioning has to be changed in that building. Mr. Chairman, you'll remember it raining in there for a couple of months. The humidity was high, but we've been trying to do that for a number of years. On the front of the building, you can see what we're doing is we're adding human resources, putting that in the front reception area, and then a meeting room. That will cut down a lot of the foot traffic that otherwise comes through that building in and out all day long. And then you've got a conference room in the back. We've got real restrooms again. So you're right, I think it was Commissioner Land, I heard you say we can eliminate the outhouse that we're using today.
Well, the county attorney actually asked where his office was.
Oh, okay.
So it's here in the house.
We're gonna free up the outhouse right now. Okay. And then on the right-hand side, you'll see all of that is IT. That's Charlie's office, his equipment working area, working on computers, and then that last one is the server room. As you know, that'll have dedicated climate control to that. That's on the side of the building that our fiber is on anyway. So that's what we have there. I have another plan, I didn't bring it with me, it's the plan for the improvements in the front of the tax collector and property appraiser's building, that entrance that Commissioner Stapleton asked us about before. Those drawings are complete. I'll get you a copy of that. Really, it has all to do with building a ramp, handicap ramp, so that the people can come in properly through the front door instead of having to go around back and just, other things associated with that. So there you go. I just wanted to give you a quick update on those. The only other thing I wanted to mention to you tonight is that we are working on, in fact, we're scrambling, trying to figure out how we're going to get the water lines constructed, extended from the catalyst site out there. We've got to try to have water available in about 12 months at the, I apologize, I'm looking for something that I had in here in a sheet, at the catalyst site, because one of our customers has indicated that they need to have the water available. More importantly, right now, they need to be able to send a letter to their bank stating that the water will be available. And that's part of the extension of our water services out there from the catalyst site. The plan is to bring it from our water plant back toward I-10, go under I-10, get to this side of I-10, and then to the south side of 90. I notified the engineers today that I'm gonna have to break that up into phases, because it's more difficult to get this side of I-10 than it would be to get from the water plant to this side of 169 there to that first piece of property. The difficulty obviously being that when we come over and have to get the design approved by DOT, to get the permit from DOT, and then come on across and then go under the railroad, that's another big permit, and it takes longer to obtain those than it would for us to get it to where we need it right now as a phase one. Take care of that customer that's gonna need water, come back for the next phase and take it on across under I-10 and under the railroad to the south side of 90. I can't tell you how that plays out with the funding right now, but what I'm also doing is chasing the money. I've done my Jerry McGuire dance, the Show Me the Money dance, for all the agencies that we've been able to communicate with. Right now, we've got the $1.9 million, I think that was the job growth grant that we got. I'm waiting I need another 1.3 million to complete the estimated cost of that water extension that we need to work on. We are working with a state revolving fund, trying to get them to modify their requirements. And it's looking favorable right right now, but we need for them to modify their requirements, in order for us to comply, and be approved for the funding. If that occurs, that's great. That would get us to 1.3 that we need. If not, on Monday, I have a gentleman coming with another state agency that I spoke to some time back. We've got an appointment to sit down and talk about water infrastructure, and I was gonna call him tomorrow and ask him, when he comes to just bring a checkbook with him. So, if state revolving fund doesn't work, I'm already working on another agency that hopefully will have some money as well. And I'll let you know how that progresses, but that's what we're having to do to try to meet the deadline that we have. And I know some of you commissioners have talked to some of these companies, and it's important that we try to accommodate them with the infrastructure. So that's where we are, today.
Thank you, Mr. Harris.
Yes.
Any questions?
I don't have any questions, but under Commissioner items are next, and kind of on the heels of that, Mr. Chairman, I have something.
Okay.
Want to run by you guys, talk about some of the projects going on out there. One of the projects going on, that spoke to me and Mr. Norris, I think there's 50+ truckloads of material coming at some point in time. They had inquired in the event they need to get some of that stuff off those trucks for a short period of time. Did we have anywhere they could drop it out there in the catalyst site? Maybe one of the piece of property we had. I didn't know what you guys thought about that, or would it be an issue with that?
We have plenty of room.
Okay, okay.
I don't think that would be a problem.
I think the idea is just getting it off those trucks, so they don't have to pay for it to sit on the trucks no longer than they have to. The other thing I have, kind of along the same thing out there, I've got one area on the railroad track out there that is in need of some trimming and possibly some mowing. It's really grown over where an intersection is. I talked to the railroad folks, Mr. JT, super nice guy. They just don't have the resources right now, or the help. And they don't have a problem with us going out there and doing it, but I want to get your thoughts as a board on that little area, just so we don't have any accidents or any issues there. And kind of on the same heels of that, DOT's got a spot there coming off where Wayne Fire is, 129th there, back towards the co-op and all. Y'all see how bad that's grown up? Same thing, they don't have, everyone from DOT's down south right now, most of their equipment's down there. They don't have a way of getting out there doing it. They don't have a problem with us doing this, but it would require an email and some agreements, and that's the only two areas that I have. I mean, we're not maintaining the track, we're not maintaining the DOT right away. I just got two areas that could cause an accident if we don't do something with it.
Mr. Chairman, on 90 you're talking about between Farmer Co-op and Wayne Fires on the north side of 90 where
That's correct. That's correct. They're out on the road.
By
Yeah, that's right. Yes, sir.
100-yard stretch there?
Yep.
I don't have a problem with that.
Exactly right.
They're about to touch the light.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then, on the railroad side, it's on the backside of the, Railroad Street, Second Street, where it's overgrown and coming over. And so they went down and trimmed the tracks. I guess they had some issues with the insurance on that, but they don't have a road crew to come and trim like off the road area. So, yeah.
Well, while we're on commissioner items, I want to bring up the RV, the moratorium on the RV. The temporary RV sites or RV campers. I've had a couple of phone calls from, some business people it's kind of affecting a lot of those guys, and they're asking us if we could, they don't mind the changes or if we were gonna make any changes, but they'd like for us to move it along a little quicker than the 90 days. So if I could, I'd like to try to set up a workshop that works for all you guys so we can get that accomplished sooner than later.
What date you looking at? And you just trying to.
Well, I'm just trying to figure it out, Mr. Clement, so I just need a response from you guys.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I would ask, Mr. Pravat, if he's made any headway or how much time you may need. I know you had to kind of look at some of the language and redo some of that. How much time do you?
We've done an initial draft of some of the things. Ron has some other things to add, to it. But what I really need to know is, one, whether you're gonna proceed with it, and then two, what those terms are. What I put in there may not be what y'all want to put in there. So, but to be able to turn it around, a week or so to turn it around after the meeting.
And just advertising requirements then as well, if they're not how we change.
The before you can really adopt them. We just need the workshop to get the language together.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Whatever we decide, can we do it in the evening like we kinda did that last
I
one?
mean, that's fine with me.
I mean, 'cause sometimes in the morning, you guys have jobs and businesses too, it's a little crazy to.
Like really early or really late, it's good for me.
That's right, yeah, absolutely.
So,
Yeah, just throw some dates out, guys, I'll,
well, we don't have a meeting on the 8th.
that's a little extra day.
Yeah.
We do it the day after, what about the night?
Not works for me.
That afternoon or something?
We'll see anything on Monday. 5 o'clock.
5:30.
Everybody good with November the 9th at 5 o'clock?
Five good or later?
Five's good.
That means advertising those
Do you have to do that?
Commissioner Pratt?
He says a reasonable amount of time.
We're good on the advertising after the workshop. We're okay with that.
Oh, if the advertising for the workshop is just reasonable notice.
Danny?
Is it on the ninth? Okay.
So November 9th at 5 PM at the Suwannee.
Right.
Appreciate that.
Mr. Chairman,
The service fund.
I just, thought maybe Commissioner Hill was gonna bring it out, because I know he talked to the reporter for Lex City Reporter. There's a 13 million project that, we've been working towards for some time. Traffic lights, I'm on 129 North. Back about 5 years ago, I think I talked with him, and we was attending those meetings over in Columbia County. And I brought it out about a young man that I knew very well, lost his life out there. They told me 10 body counts. I didn't like that language, but they have considered, they'll be putting in traffic lights. I'm just, you wanna throw some in there, Commissioner Hill. They're putting traffic lights on this side of 10, and the other side of 10, by Busy Bee. And they are expanding those,
Exit ramps.
Exit ramps, get on, detail. Also, I think there was another traffic light, fire chief keep hand down here where the fire station is coming in at. I'm thinking, he did say so much, he told me so much, and I told him that I was retired. And I said, that's Commissioner Hill, District 4 and District 2.
No, right there together.
Right there together, 2, 4, and 1. So they're probably leaning on you, contacting you, but I think that's very good that this is coming. The traffic light, with all the traffic is going north. That's where the growth is at, and I think it's a good idea that they have met our demands and they're moving forward with doing it. They're committed to doing it, spending $13 million on it.
There's, Mr. Chairman, speak to that. There's a lot going on. I don't think they have the actual exact plans down there. They've
Yeah.
changed them. Some of the early plans, and Commissioner Fleming did, I think, get all that kick-started. I appreciate that. I kind of jumped on it unknowingly that he'd been working on it, as a new commissioner when I came in. But yes, they've identified, we put together, I know at least 2 meetings. Mr. Harris lived with me, and I had the sheriff with me, and I've had the fire department with me, and we sat down with DOT and the secretary of DOT, and our engineers were there, and just, we had a big conversation, not once but twice. And yeah, it took them a little bit to find the money and put it together, but they had, like, I think you brought up one of the meetings, Mr. Harris, that they had contacted you, they're gonna be doing some studies out there. And one funny thing I'll say about that study, they had done a study at one point in time on car count, and they gave me a number, and I'm like, that just seems very low, that don't seem right. And so we got to looking at it, well, before the Bisbee was there, and it was like on a Thursday between 2 and 4. And I'm thinking, no, that ain't gonna get it right there. So they've done some other studies, and like you say, they've realized there is a need out there, and they're gonna help us meet that need, so I'm thankful for that, for sure.
Mr. Chairman, can I comment on that quickly?
Yes, sir.
I hope they do put a traffic light out there close to where the fire station is gonna be. And I will tell you that some of the preliminary designs that I've seen are not a traffic light, it's a
Seen those
traffic
too.
circle.
Two
No,
Be interested.
No, I'm telling you, it is a.
It is, it's multi-lane inside there.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen them, but not at high speed.
Well, yeah, I think he's being a little facetious.
I've got a report of them to make a high-speed one, because I know how people drive through there, but, no, I'm really thankful, and I'll just tell you, the numbers that I shared before on this, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I guess it was that they had initially set aside like $7 million, and they've changed it now to 13, because everything's much more expensive right now. So I'm grateful that they're coming along. I'll also tell you that I've had some, continuing conversations with the owners of the property straight across from Busy Bee on the south side. That other company is gone, Speedway. We haven't spoken to them anymore, but the owners now have engineers involved with them coming up with actually master planning that, which was the very thing they argued with me about for years. They didn't want a master plan, they just wanted to chop it up in slivers and sell it and have 50 curb cuts down through there. So now it's gonna be master plan, and we should have limited access on the road, it'll be a lot safer. But, so that's coming, and I think they have 50 acres right there. That'll be interesting to see if we can get these road improvements done before they actually start developing.
But yes, thank you for mentioning that, Commissioner. Yes, sir.
Has anybody came for Haven Hospice yet? I guess we'll go ahead with the proclamation with them. I'll go ahead and read the proclamation. Whereas for more than 40 years, Haven has helped provide comfort and dignity to thousands of people in North Florida land and live their last months, weeks, or days comfortably with the people they love. Whereas Haven utilizes an interdisciplinary team-oriented approach to treatment, including expert medical care, quality symptom control, and comprehensive pain management as a foundation of care. Whereas beyond providing physical treatment, Haven attends to the patient's emotional, spiritual, and family needs, and provides family services like respite care and bereavement counseling. Whereas Haven provides community-based palliative care, which delivers expertise to improve quality of life and relief from pain that can be provided at any time during an illness. Whereas in an increasingly fragmented and broken healthcare system, hospice is one of the few sectors that demonstrates how healthcare can and should work at its best for its patient. Whereas every year, 1.5 million Americans living in with life-limiting illness and their families receive care from the nation's hospice programs and communities throughout the United States, including Haven. Whereas Haven is an advocate and educator about advanced care planning that helps individuals make decisions about the care that they want. And whereas the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services have pledged to put patients first in all of its programs, including hospice, ensuring a coordinated and patient-led approach to care, protecting patient choice and access to individualized services based on a patient's unique care needs and wishes. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Franklin White, Chairman of the Suwannee County Board of County Commissioners, by virtue of the authority vested in me by Suwannee County, Florida, do hereby proclaim November 2022 as National Hospice and Palliative Care Month, and encourage citizens to increase their understanding and awareness of care at the end of life, discuss their end-of-life wishes with their families, and observe this month with appropriate activities and programs. And I'd just like to say that, I know nobody's here from hospice, but that's a great organization and helps a lot of folks at the end of their life. Very grateful to them.
And to their employees.
And to their employees, for sure.
A special person to do what they do.
Absolutely.
Powerful.
Motion by Commissioner Hale.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Stapleton. All in favor, aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Mr. Attorney, any attorney items?
Yes, sir. Just one briefly. I just wanted to sincerely thank everyone, county commissioners, administrative staff, and all friends, for everyone's expression of sympathy and prayers for the loss of my mom. She was a strong and unique individual, and as you can tell, she raised some unique kids. She'll be sorely missed by the family, and I appreciate the support offered and give them to my family. God bless you all.
Very good, thank you, Mr. Bowden. Sorry for your loss. There's no additional agenda items.
That's-
Public concerns and comments, anybody wishing to speak?
Steve Fontana, I live at 21181 144th Street, Live Oak. And I'd like to, this is both for information and a request. I'd just like to present to you Dr. Joseph Ladapo's latest guidance on the COVID vaccine. And actually, I got that and his previous guidance for children. Make copies for you guys. And also, before I get started, thank you very much for your service. Looks like a lot of work. Really appreciate it. I'll think about that before I ever complain.
It's only 2 weeks a month.
Yeah. Everything in between. But, yeah, and the reason I want to bring this to your attention, it's actually right in the guidance. And I'll quote what he says here, the analysis. This analysis found there is an 84% increase in relative incidence of cardiac-related death among males 18 to 39 years old within 28 days following the mRNA vaccination. So in my opinion, this guidance, along with the guidance on the other sheet for children, this should be at every vaccination site in the county and should be made available to them. So I called the county health department. They said that decision needs to be made at the state. So I called the state, and the state said that COVID, there are no regulations on COVID. And right now the state can't force anybody to post this. They said, but those locations can post it on their own. So I went around the town, at least in Live Oak, and I asked them to post this guidance. And obviously they said no. So what I would like to ask of the Board of Commissioners is if there's any way that you could say to them, because supposedly this is still a national emergency, so maybe you have special emergency communications authority to say, we want this posted at every vaccination site, because anybody taking a shot really needs to have this information. So if you could do that, that'd be awesome. If you can't, then maybe a letter to them just saying that, hey, this is important information that anybody taking the vaccination should have. It's from the state Surgeon General. So in the state of Florida, this information should not be missed for all of us. Otherwise, if we can't do that, then any place that we ever advertise to take the COVID shot, be it on, we had on message boards, we had it maybe in county buildings, things like that, we should have this out there. And maybe with that quote on there that says 84% increase in relative death, incidence of cardiac-related death among males 18 to 39 years old. Okay, this isn't going to go away, and they're still pushing it. So I really appreciate your help on this. I'll continue to try to make people aware of it.
So what are you asking us for? I know you want us to post it, but where are you asking us to post it at?
Well, mainly the main location would be the vaccination sites: Walgreens, CVS, Walmart, Publix, any place where people can go to get this. This should either be posted or it should be given to them. This didn't really make the news, unfortunately.
Well, I've seen the Florida Surgeon General talk about it on one of the stations. I don't remember which one it was. I watched
We can
it.
put it on our website. I think we should have a link for COVID related.
But I don't, Mr. Attorney, as far as the private business, I don't think we got nowhere to stand in that do this.
Yep. I'll
We'll do what we can.
whatever you can do.
I don't disagree with you. It's just only so much we can do as a
Yep, I understand.
governing body.
Yeah, if the state can't do it, county health can't do it, I can understand your hands might be tied. Only other thing I'll add, just in passing before I go, I know you mentioned the building with federal COVID money. Be really careful, because the federal government, I know in areas, has tried to tie forced vaccination to federal money. And where it would affect us is if you take money for the county for a COVID building, they might try to tie forced vaccination of all county employees. And now in the state of Florida, I think that's probably legal, but it's like a federal loophole that they're trying to push it down on, on our freedom. So just keep that in mind and see if it's in the red tape for that building. You're approving.
Thank you for your information.
Yep, you all should.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming.
Yep.
What is on our website? think they're.
Yes, please. I would. I mean, if that's okay with the rest of them.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and Board. I'm Robert Ford. I live at 8896 135th Loop, Live Oak, Florida. And I'd like to make 2 announcements and 1 presentation with your approval. And if I could have your approval to approach and pass out a
Yes, sir.
certificate that I'm going to be presenting. I'll do the 2 announcements first. The first announcement is Heritage Park and Gardens will be doing a Veterans Memorial dedication next Tuesday, November the 8th at 10 a.m. at the site out at Heritage Park and Garden. Everyone is invited to come out and be part of that. And part of that dedication is that we will be renaming that gazebo that's on the site there. It will be renamed after John W. Yulee, which was a former city councilor, and he was a big supporter of Heritage Park and Garden. So the board decided to rename that gazebo after him. That gazebo, history of it, that it used to be located at Live Oak Veterans Park, and a number of years ago we moved it from that park out to Heritage Park. So next Tuesday at 10 a.m. We will do that dedication, that Veterans Memorial dedication out there. The second announcement is that next Friday, November the 11th, will be the Veterans Day Parade. And so the entries need to be submitted by, I think, this Friday the 5th. So the forms for the entries for the parade, they're located at the library and at the Chamber of Commerce. So we encourage everyone to go by and get a form if you don't have one, and fill out that entry form and be part of that parade on next Friday, the 11th at 9 a.m. We'll be lining up at the school district out on North 129. South, north and south. That's south, right? Okay.
Friday's the 4th.
Huh?
Friday's the 4th.
Keep the next Friday.
The fourth, you're talking about the forms that to be in, right?
You said, yeah, about Friday the 4th. Friday's the 4th.
Well, I believe it's the 4th right there, that you have to have your entry forms in. And they're available at the library and at the Chamber of Commerce. Now, to the presentation I'd like to make is a certificate of appreciation is presented to Suwannee Parks and Recreation. And I would like for Mr. Scott to come forward and receive the presentation. And Jason could come up too. He was our go-to guy doing this project. So. I don't trust you behind me.
Wise man.
But anyway, to the audience, this is a certificate that the Douglas High School Alumni Association, which is part of the old Douglas School that once existed here. We are part of the association that does things for the historical remembrance and presentation of the Douglas Center. And what we did was built a memorial there over the last couple of years, and it was dedicated October the 8th, I think Saturday, October the 8th. And this is a certificate of appreciation that our board is presenting to Parks and Recreation, and I will read this certificate. It says, Douglas High School Alumni and Historical Association Incorporated, certificate of appreciation presented to Suwannee Parks and Recreation. In recognition and appreciation for the myriad of support provided in the construction and dedication program for the Douglas Memorial Site on October 8, 2022. The support provided is too extensive to be enumerated. In all respects, however, all departmental staff took pride in their performance, which was evident in the results of every task they performed. The results we enjoyed at the dedication on the memorial site and the Douglas Alumni Reunion Weekend, October 7th through 9th, 2022, would not have been possible without them. A cohesive team, such as yours, does not simply happen, but a result of high expectation from the top and flows to each member of the team. Reunion participants told us this was one of our best reunions, which can be contributed to the support provided by Parks and Recreation. And the official seal of Douglas Alumni is affixed and signed by myself, Robert I. Ford. And I'd just like to, in addition to this, just kind of enumerate that the support they gave us during the construction of that project. You know, every time you needed something, you give them a call and they was there. And the outcome of it, I think it came out very well. And I'd like to thank the board who gave us permission back in 2019 to construct that site out there. The board and Commissioner Fleming personally, he took an interest in it and backed that and gave us support throughout that project. And if you're over on Douglas Street, I would invite any of you by the Douglas Center, go there, you'll see the flagpole and the site with the pavels and granite monuments out there that's contributed to the history of Douglas and African American schools in Suwannee County. Thank you, Mr. Commissioner.
Thank you.
Mr. Ford, could y'all, maybe you want to take a picture of it, please?
Nathan,
Come on by.
Greg.
The other trees try to stay in the shadows.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman. Brief comment. Mr. Ford, I just wanted to say, I think all of us have driven by it because we were all out there more recently with the EOC, and thankfully we didn't have a hurricane. But in any event, I think y'all did a magnificent job. I mean, we all have the photos. I don't know how many people out here in the audience have been by there, but did a beautiful job, well planned. It turned out spectacular. It really is a showpiece out there on that property.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Good. Thank you.
If I'm not, Mr. Chairman, appreciate that, Mr. Harris. Understand that the alumni group raised the money for the majority of the efforts out there, and they did the lion's share of the work. We just brought a few little things here and there. But, you know, Extension did a big part. County Maintenance did some things for us. I just don't want to let them without the attaboys too. It took the village to get it done. So just I'll accept this on everybody's behalf. But it's the guys who actually was on the shovels and doing that other stuff that is important. Because I can say yes, but I just ride by and stay out the sun so my head don't burn. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments?
Been quiet lately, so.
Name and address.
Wayne Hanek, 11883 93rd Road, my vote. Mr. Stapleton, Mr. Fleming, I believe this is your last meeting.
No, one more.
One more?
One more.
Okay, I'm one road.
They gave us an extension.
The point was to stand up here and say thank you for the service, thank you for what you've done for this county. Thank you personally. You both supported me in things I've tried to do, good things that would try to happen in this county. So, I wanted to let you know that I appreciate that. And we have just a little certificate from citizens of North Florida. Of course, I spelled Mr. Fleming's name wrong, so I'm gonna have to get him another.
Thank you, Mr. Brandon. Thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak? Seeing none, we'll move along. Mr. Harris, anything to add?
I just encourage everyone to pray for rain.
Yes, sir. Mr. Fleming?
First of all, I would say to Mr. Pagat, I know you got his emotional there. Touched my heart too. When Manny texted me and told me that mother had passed, and my mom is still living. She's still alive, but my father passed away, and he was my hero. And I lost a brother and a sister. There were 10 of us, 10 siblings. And it was hard. I don't know which was the hardest. But I just recently spent the night with my mother 2 weeks ago. And she wasn't feeling good, and I told my wife I'm going to spend the night with Mom. And I walked in, and she told me, she said, son, I feel good, but she didn't know I was coming to spend the night with her. So lo and behold, and I walked in, my brother told me, he's coming to stay with you tonight. And she leaped up out of that bed and was so excited that I would spend the night with her oldest son now. And I got back in that bed, and I slept good, spending the night with my mom. But it's kind of bittersweet. I always say that. This morning was my last morning at work for the state of Florida. I officially retired from them. I didn't tell my wife I was going to, this morning was going to be the last one. But I told her later that I'm done. I don't have to work tonight. I'm done with working tonight. And I'm proud, I'm happy, but most of all, I'm grateful. Mr. Haneker, thank you. Mr. Ford, thank you. Y'all did a marvelous job at Douglas, and I go through there continuously every day. It looked nice out there, and it's great. And I think you're the spear, you're the tip of the spear, you're the spearhead of that all that work that's out there, and I know it. And I think you did a marvelous job, man. You come from your military background and your family, your ties to your family, work ethics, you're trying to get things done and get the job done. And I, as I look around, I see all these people in here, constituents in here, and I think about each and every one. I do my final speech. Mr. Chairman, I'll be done in a minute. But you go ahead. Tim, we're finally, Tori. I'm bad about name calling, but Tori, tell your family that we're working.
We appreciate you.
Those lights out there. But it's been good. Let's tell me over this. I'll just catch you the next time.
I ain't trying to set no record, I already did that, so I'm good.
I'll hold it to the next meeting.
All right, Mr. Fleming, I appreciate it. Commissioner Stokely.
Yeah, I just, continue thoughts and prayers, Mr. Pat, you and your family. It's, that's one that's not, you know, they say time heals all wounds, but that's one that's not gonna change a lot. I mean, it's, we all only got one mom. So, we're here for you, we'll pray for you. If there's anything we can do, you let us know. I would also like to thank Mr. Haneska. One of the real highlights in my being a commissioner was getting that in. Very few people can take on something by themselves and make a difference and see it through. A lot of people take something and want to get started, they run out of gas, or they hit roadblocks and they give up. Well, you made a difference. And I appreciate that. Mr. Ford, just appreciate everything you've done over there. That site continues to have improvements, and there'll be a community center there. We've had that discussion many times.
And air conditioning in the gym.
And air conditioning in that gym. Don't you let these fellows forget that now. But,
I don't think they will.
just, and Haven Hospice, just once again, just thank you for them. Every family in here, close or distant, they've been touched by those folks. And with me, it was very close to my mother-in-law. You know, just like Commissioner Hill said, it takes special people to take care of people that they see come in the door and they know they're not leaving there the same way. So just but that's all I got.
Mr. Pratt, you have anything to add?
Sir?
Mr. Land?
Man, it's always hard following them two guys.
Leave us down there.
That's why I'm the last, so you say I echo everything.
No, I would echo everything both of those guys said. Thoughts and prayers, Mr. Pratt. You know, it's never easy losing a family member, especially mom. So, thoughts and prayers with you and your family. And Mr. Ford, you know, as Mr. Harris stated, we spent a good bit of time at the EOC. Thankfully, time didn't really, or however you pronounce it, didn't really affect us, but we were driving by there every day. And I know at least twice I've seen you out there at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning working, right by yourself. So you did a fine job with that. And, that's a good contribution and memorial for our community. I'd update the board that our LTPT, our local technology planning team, I think Shannon, he's here. I don't see Brandon though. That's Shannon's right-hand woman, if you will. Mr. Norris, I mean, we're spending a lot of time trying to, this broadband thing, state of Florida's pushing, I mean, there's $400 million on the table. And there's, you know, a certain percentage of that being withheld for rural counties, so hopefully we'll get a piece of that pie to get fiber rolling to some of these. By their definition, 25.3 is considered unserved. So with the speed test that we've been doing, Suwannee Valley helped us promote. We got a lot of unserved folks when it comes to high-speed internet. They may have internet, but by state of Florida's definition, it's so slow it's unserved. So we're continuing to put together a application window. Opens tomorrow, right, Shannon?
Yes, sir.
Closes December the 2nd. So we're working hard on trying to put together a good application, get some money there to support some broadband projects here in this county. I'll keep it pretty light, other than one more thing I'd add is that Commissioner Hale, I believe you and I had a pretty good weekend in college football. I don't know what to say to the guys down there on that end, but they didn't bring it up this weekend, did they? Kind of quiet.
No, your people is
Quiet.
Yeah.
I'll end with that.
There's always next year. Mr. Hale?
Obviously what you guys, Mr. Pratt, our heart and thoughts are with you and your family, and you know, we spoke earlier today, so whatever you need, we're here for you, that's for sure. Just seeing Mr. Ford come up here and give that to our park and rec, I mean, all of our departments, guys, and I try to mention this, you know, at least once a month up here. Like Mr. Scott said, I mean, we're not on the shovel, we're not on the graders, we're not on the dump trucks, but those guys, they work hard, I know they do, and we appreciate each and every one of them. I do appreciate our community. I'm sure like you guys, I've been getting a lot of calls because it is so dry and roads are crazy and things are just hard to deal with, but even our community is understanding of it, and I just want to thank them for that and the good conversation I've had with each one of the folks, in not only just my district, you know, we get calls from every district, but that's really all. I'm just proud to be here, proud to be part of this community, and we got good things going on, Mr. Norris. I appreciate you and what you're doing and projects we're working on and the support. We had a call on Mr. Harris and Mr. Pratt to jump on something, and in 24 hours we were able to fix what could have potentially been a problem with the project here, and that just shows you the commitment and how important it is to everyone that's involved to work and try to make things happen for this community. So that's all I got.
Well, y'all about said it all, you leave it up. Homecoming in Brantford's on Friday, and parade's Friday. If any of y'all want to try to do that, I'll try to set something up for it. I'll be there anyway, so it's up to you guys if you want to join in or not. Also, this past week, Madden Media, which is county's media company that does the advertising, I guess that's what you call it for the county. Marketing, thank you. Marketing, and so I was a designated boat captain one day last week, and we took them all the way up to all the springs from Troy. all the way up to the Stuckney and back, and, we had a real good time, and it was actually a welcome day off for me, so I enjoyed it. Keeping, North straight was a problem, but the rest of it was pretty good. Frankie.
Did you donate?
You don't walk right by that boss.
We'll discuss that later.
That's, the mayor and the town council sitting over there from Bradford, that's why they're asking that I donate, but, I'll make sure I go by there and fix it, though.
Fines are double for a commissioner.
It's a
We'll have you on camera.
But,
You set yourself up for that.
oh, I did. And, Mr. Ford, appreciate you coming and recognizing the parks and appreciate what you do out there. I know you put a lot of time into it, so thank you. And Mr. Provett, please, anything I can do for you, I'd be more than happy to. With that, I just need a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman? I'm sorry. I'm gonna take Mr. Clemens' time. I just want to let you know that we've got 2 weather stem stations up, this new one at the airport and one at Royal Springs. So make sure you download that app so you can look at what's going on at the boat ramp at Royal and also across the airfield at the airport. But the airport project renovations of the terminal is going well. The community will be proud when we get done. But Wilson's pretty cool. Appreciate the sheriff's staff, Chris and those guys that helped us turn it on to the state where it didn't cost anything for installation. And it's nice to be able to look out and see what's going on. I can watch my guys from anywhere now.
Now we just need this board to give us some money to chip seal that road, so when y'all go there and check that station, you don't get beat up so bad.
You're right. That would really help a lot.
That one from 90 wouldn't hurt to be paid.
Y'all go ahead, I got plenty we can answer.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Did you make the motion?
I did.
Motion by Commissioner Stapleton, second by Commissioner Hale, all in favor, aye?
Aye.